Yo, how's it going? Yo, what's up? What's up? First things first, congrats to Ace for being first to the stream. Congrats, my dude. So, starting off with some, sorry, I got distracted. My cat has the zoomies and I thought they shredded the wall for a second. Starting off with some DVD today. Nia is currently, Nia will be here, but she's making some sandwiches. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and play some DVD, playing 2v8. So if anyone wants to join, you are more than free to hop in. But yeah, dude, how's everyone's day going? Hopefully you guys are doing well. This time, usually before I go live, I restart the internet and then go live, but this time I didn't because I kind of want to see if I have to. DVD, but the category says the horse racing. Oh, did I not confirm it? I might not have confirmed it. Hold up. Let's see if it changes now. Oh yeah, it does. I never confirmed it. Damn, my bad. That's terrible. Yeah, I just literally didn't hit done. I think I literally typed everything and then I walked away to help Neil with something and then I came back. Oh. Wait a minute, are we live on YouTube? Hold up, let me check. Okay, we are. Nice. Hell yeah. Good. Okay. You guys know I gotta put the Ko-fi link up here. But yeah, thanks for keeping an eye out on that, Ace. Appreciate it. There we go. Ooh. Okay. No, my camera. Boom. Okay, that works. I just have this for now. Stupid camera, man. I need to do better wire management. Ain't no way. Wesker and Blight. Dude, they are cooking. Nah, hold up. I gotta... No way. Why is my team getting cooked like this? I can't heal you here, Ada. I gotta get the rest of the team, dude. We gotta recoup. It's funny you would mention that, Ace, because I got on Fortnite to make sure everything was good. And yeah, I saw like a lot of stuff was leaving. I'll let one of them get the unhook because I don't know. Okay, that works. And then I popped the gen. Let's go, dude. If I can stay stealth for now, because if they're shredding through my team like that, I'll get the unhook on Dwight, then I'll get hooked. Wait, that was Dwight, right? Yeah, Dwight. But these guys are shredding. They got 8 hooks and we're only on 7 gens. That's crazy. I think Ada's gonna die and I'm gonna go stage 2. Wait, no, oh, it's this person. Jill. I mean, that works, I guess. Now I'll just go stage 2. Not the best start. And then he's right there. Okay, no, I thought that was a killer. They need to update the bot like AI. They're so dumb. Have the bots be able to adapt. Because instead, like it's like if they run an action, if there's no success on the action, they'll keep doing it. Instead of like doing something different. Nice. Yeah, there's like no pallets. That was a good swing. Okay, let me see if I can fix my stuff. That game was a speed run. I could tell that game was going down, dude. Oh, hey, maybe I died in a good time because Nia brought the sandwiches. Let's go. I guess it was fun that we got a speed run. Nice. Okay. Hey says, yeah, I get on Fortnite to make sure it didn't crash like it always does, because if I don't play for a long period of time, when I get in a game during lobby parts, it won't load everything, then it'll crash, or it'll crash on the loading screen. Oh, okay. Maybe I should find something to watch that we can watch while while me and Nia eat. Hmm. You know what? Maybe we'll watch this. We'll watch a game theory starring someone that's not MadPat. And it could be them talking about peak lore or something. Hmm. Okay. I'm just going to pick Sure, let's watch this video of a guy talking about if he thinks DBD is pay to win. Which it kind of is. I mean, it kind of depends on what you exactly mean by like pay to win. Like if you pay money, you win more games? Or is it like the speed in which you're able to get the items to win more games? But we'll see, we'll see. Yeah. Let me swap over. Nia is back too, but I think she's still setting up.
Game's balance directly affects how fun that game is at any given time, even for non-competitive players. Of course, there's still plenty of fun to be had in games even when you're losing, but it's no fun getting absolutely steamrolled match after match with little you can do about it, purely because the enemy team is using a character or perk that's simply too strong. A lot of games regularly have new character releases that straight up break the game as a whole, like Smite had released Bologna, Apex Legends had released Seer, Overwatch had released Brig, and Overwatch 2 had released Mauga, and each of those characters were broken beyond belief, and DBD is no exception. While every game I just mentioned handles monetization and new content releases slightly differently from each other, all but one of them, Overwatch 2, shared a common theme. Anytime a new character gets released, that character is either completely free and unlocked for everyone the moment they drop, or able to be unlocked without spending any money if players save up enough in-game currency for it. With DBD, that is sometimes the case, as original DLCs can be unlocked exactly like that, but licensed DLCs are not obtainable for free at all. You have to spend money on them. And while initially that might not seem like a big deal, we've already passed 14 licensed killers alone, not including survivors like Ashley Williams or Lara Croft. The debate on whether or not Dead by Daylight is pay to win has been going on quietly in the background for years now, going back as far as DBD's first ever paid DLC, the Halloween chapter, which is a perfect place to begin listing every time DBD released a DLC with either a character or perk that was overpowered, meta-defining, or put people who purchased it at a huge advantage over others that hadn't. In other words, every time DBD released a pay-to-win DLC. Pay-to-win DLC 1, the Halloween chapter. With the addition of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, this DLC completely changed the game for both killers and survivors. Although Myers himself has never been at the top of the tier list, his perk, Save the Best for Last, instantly became the best killer perk in the game, creating one of the most unique killer metas ever, even 8 years later, with the machine gun build. Original Save the Best for Last granted a permanent 33% cooldown reduction on all basic attacks as long as the obsession was alive, which would additively stack with the then current Unrelenting, which did the exact same thing at 22% for an almighty 55% cooldown reduction on basic attacks with no stacking required. This perk was needed for optimal play for 4 months, until Unrelenting was nerfed to only apply to missed attacks, and Save the Best for Last was reworked entirely another 2 months after that. Laurie Strode's perk Decisive Strike also immediately became the #1 survivor perk in the game, with Objective Obsession also being one of the best perks in the game too. Decisive Strike simply granted any survivor who used it a 4th life instead of the usual 3 lives they're supposed to have, and all 4 survivors could use it too, meaning the killer would now need 16 hooks instead of the usual 12 hooks to win. Decisive Strike's reign of terror was so severe that it has a reputation as one of the most overpowered perks in video game history. Objective Obsession, however, would simply grant the user the ability to see the killer through walls, across the map, anytime they wanted. When combined with a voice chat, one player could equip this perk and grant the entire team a huge head start on any chase. While Decisive Strike had numerous changes over the years, it remained completely game-breaking until mid-2021, with Objective Obsession not being changed until just over a month later. This meant that the Halloween DLC was needed for optimal play for a total of 4 years and 7 months. Pay-to-win DLC 2 of Flesh and Mud. The second paid DLC ever added to DBD follows up on the trend of its predecessor by adding another perk that was absolutely required for optimal play: Hex Ruin. The original version of Ruin instantly became the best killer perk in the game, as it had the potential to drastically slow down the rate at which survivors repaired gens, which was becoming an increasingly frustrating issue. Well, as long as a survivor didn't spawn in right next to it and instantly break it, that is. While Hex Ruin did eventually get a complete rework, that rework was still the best killer perk in the game until it got a huge nerf. The first iteration made it so that every time a survivor got a skill check on a gen, they had to hit a great skill check, or else it would regress the gen by 5% and pause progression for a moment. Additionally,
yeah, that was pretty crazy. People used to gen tab back then.
Any bonus progress, and would instead behave like your typical normal skill check. The second iteration had nothing to do with skill checks at all, and instead made it so that any generators that weren't fully completed or didn't have a survivor actively working on it would automatically regress at 200% of the normal regression speed. The first version disproportionately affected lower skilled survivors more than higher skilled survivors, as bad survivors would struggle to hit any great skill checks at all, effectively rendering gens unrepairable altogether, whereas more skilled survivors would hit every single great skill check and disregard the perk altogether. While it's nice that it rewarded skill, killers dominate in lower tier gameplay anyway, so it just felt practically unplayable for those survivors who were already struggling. The reworked version, however, disproportionately affected higher tier killers more than lower tier killers, making the best killers, who often have high mobility, outperform the weaker killers even further, as high mobility killers can scare survivors off gens more often, forcing ruin value more often, whereas a weak killer like Myers has no mobility at all, and therefore far less opportunity to scare survivors off gens, causing them to regress. With both versions of Ruin, the difference between a match with Ruin and a match without it was night and day. Matches often lasted significantly longer, going from frequent 5 to 7 minute matches to around the 15-minute mark, granting a huge time bonus to get stuff done, have more chases, and ultimately kill more survivors. Ruin was required for optimal killer play for 5 years and 7 months. Pay to win DLC 3, Leatherface. Bubba's always had a rough time, bless him. He's never been a particularly good killer, and although Knockout and Franklin's Demise are both great perks, they've not quite been game-breaking or meta. But despite that, for the longest time, Bubba was one of the most purchased DLCs, and in fact, most players used to recommend buying the Leatherface DLC as soon as possible, even if it was your first DLC, for one single reason:
Barbecue
and chili. The aura reading from Barbecue
He used to give you blood points too back then.
of keeping pressure up, and was especially good on high mobility killers like Hillbilly, Nurse and Blight, as they could follow up on that aura reading quite quickly. But the aura reading you know, the primary function of this perk, wasn't the reason people were flocking to the store to buy it. Instead, it was an old, since removed bonus feature of this perk that granted a permanent 25% blood point boost for each survivor that had been hooked at least